The new Lubbock County Expo Center will soon break ground. An update on the progress and what's happening today to get it kickstarted.
And President Trump, the first commander-in-chief to set foot in North Korea. What came out of his meeting with Kim Jong-un there? But first, let's get right to Bobby with a check of today's forecast.
Well, it was a hot weekend. In fact, we reached 100 degrees yesterday afternoon here in Lubbock. We're already starting off quite mild into the 60s and 70s. It's now 67 La Mesa, 66 at Hobbs, 69 here in Lubbock, and 70 degrees into Hoka. Now, we have a very light southeasterly wind, about 5 to 10 miles per hour. It will stay very light through today. Looking at tech stock cameras, if you're about to get on the roadways, everything is nice and dry. We're looking out at Loop 289 and Indiana. Few cars on the road. Not going to have any travel concerns this morning. In fact, sunshine expected throughout this afternoon. Temperatures will warm back up into the lower to mid 90s area wide. 86 by lunchtime. Again, that southeast wind will stay very light. But as we get into the evening hours and even here overnight, we might have a slim chance for a few storms in and across our western counties. Partly cloudy with a low near 68. Show you when we'll have a better chance for some storms coming up in about 15 minutes.
Thank you so much, Bobby. Starting today, Lubbock County will start collecting hotel occupancy tax money to help fund the Lubbock County Expo Center. This has been 8 months since Lubbock voters gave the green light to the plan. Our
Jenna tells us why it took so long to put into action and the timeline for the Expo Center to open.
We're moving forward as quickly as we can. I think we're at a place right now where we're getting that horse right back in front of the cart, and so that we can start moving toward getting this facility built.
When voters passed Proposition A last November, they were told the Expo Center would be on the fast track to completion. Fast forward 8 months later, and county commissioners are now authorizing that tax plan to start Monday. County Judge Curtis Parrish says the delay comes primarily from legal complications with a 5% rental car tax, and this patience will soon be rewarded.
We want to make sure we're doing this right. We want to make sure that what we are doing will meet the needs of the people of Lubbock County, again, for the next 40, 50 years.
With the revenue plan in place, Parrish says the 2% hotel occupancy tax will kickstart momentum back in their favor.
That 2% we will use, put into the venue fund to be able to use to start the work on building and constructing, maintaining, and operating the new Expo Center.
Because the hot tax won't match the $50 million budget, the county was forced to wait for the rental car tax to get through court so they can pay back the 30-year bonds. Parrish says once that is cleared up, they can then focus on the Expo Center itself.
Once we do get the bond amount, at least knowing exactly how much we will have available, then we can go back and work on the size and the scope of the Expo Center.
Parrish says the path to a 2021 opening for the Expo Center is still clear, and the plan hasn't changed despite the tax collection delay. Jonah Holz, Good Day Lubbock.
Lubbock County wants its contract with the company running the medical examiner's office sealed. It claims having it public puts the county in a competitive disadvantage when it comes to finding a new medical examiner. The pathology services agreement with NAAG was filed as an exhibit in the Rebecca Ortiz case. She is the grandmother who claimed the office disassembled her child to benefit Evan Matchis research. The county has to find a new ME before NAAG's one-year contract expires at the end of September. The company informed the county judge it won't renew due to political and personal agendas interfering with its work.
Whether we are going to hire just a medical examiner, forensic medical pathologist, and we're getting a lot of inquiries right now. We will be making that decision over the summer. We're going to start budget process next week. And through the budget process, we will determine what direction we will go as far as our medical examining services are.
The filing includes signed agreement from Ortiz's attorneys as well as lawyers for NAAG, St. Andrews, and Evan Matchis. Investing in parts of Lubbock could get you a tax break soon. The federal government's valuating parts of Lubbock as economic opportunity zones. That's a tool used to bring private investments into these high-risk areas. Taxes on investments in the Opportunity Zone can be deferred, and there'd be a break on the capital gains tax.
There will never be enough public dollars to meet the private needs of our citizens. So being able to do whatever we can to incentivize those private dollars to come in and fill the gap is what we're really focused on right now.
Generally, private funding is 15-1 with federal dollars, but with these economic opportunity zones, that can go up to 30, 50, 100, even 1,000 to 1.
Two people are now in the hospital from an accident on I-27 near the FedEx Shipping Center north of Regis Street. Just one vehicle was involved in this wreck. The two women inside were both injured. One of them was even trapped for a while. Police haven't said what they think caused this crash. And this crash near 27th and Avenue Q sent 3 men to the hospital. Police say 2 pickups crashed in an intersection. No word on who was at fault. The driver of the Chevy has life-threatening injuries. The Chevy passenger and the GMC driver have less serious injuries. Police are now investigating a deadly motorcycle wreck from Saturday. 24-year-old Robert Macias Jr. died at the hospital after this crash off 19th and Avenue S around 1 a.m. No reports of any other vehicles involved there. And a man suffered life-threatening injuries after his car went off a bridge on East Loop 289 just north of 50th Street and caught fire on impact. Lubbock Fire Rescue put out the flames and used the jaws to get the man out. His name hasn't been released.
Federal investigators say 2 crew members and 8 passengers were killed when a small twin-engine plane crashed into a hangar during takeoff at the Addison Municipal Airport. NTSB representatives say they don't really know too much about the people on board at this point. The plane was headed to St. Petersburg, Florida. The plane had recently changed hands, so it's not clear what the proper tail number was. The NTSB's lead investigator on the crash said that it had previously been owned by a private charter company in Chicago.
Lubbock State Senator Charles Perry will help draw up new election maps for Texas over the next couple of years. The Lieutenant Governor named him to the redistricting panel for 2021. The process will begin as soon as the data from the census is available. Senator Perry, along with 9 other Republicans and 7 Democrats, will have to draw the electoral districts for both state and federal representation. The Lieutenant Governor calls it a critical process in our rapidly growing state. Senator Perry says the bipartisan committee will ensure equal representation throughout Texas. Congressman Jody Arrington will spend part of his Independence Day at town halls. The first one is today in Castro County. That will be at the courthouse in Dimmitt. Tomorrow morning, he'll be in Garza County at its courthouse in Post. Wednesday, a double feature ahead of the 4th of July. He'll be in Roby at the Fisher County Courthouse that morning, then head over to the Jones County Courthouse in Anson after that. The congressman will share his efforts on Capitol Hill and take your questions. We will have the full schedule in the Fox 34 News app. And before Congress went into recess Friday, it passed a $4.5 billion border funding bill that the Trump administration's been requesting for months. Congressman Arrington says the people of West Texas welcome everyone who want to make a better life for their families.
But only if they respect our laws and our sovereignty and the safety of our citizens, which after all is the first and most important job that we have as leaders of this great nation.
The money will go towards shelter and other urgent needs to deal with the wave of migrants seeking asylum.
President Trump is back at the White House after making history this weekend, becoming the first sitting U.S. president to step into North Korea. During the 50-minute meeting in the demilitarized zone, President Trump said he and Kim Jong-un agreed to restart the discussions that fell apart after their summit in February.
The question is whether Trump is willing to put sanctions relief on the table. It's something he said he wouldn't do unless North Korea fully denuclearized. If that's not an unrealistic goal at this point, he's going to need to adjust his own goalpost.
President Trump says meetings with Pyongyang could start within a few weeks. He also said he invited Chairman Kim to the White House, but later admitted a visit would probably not happen in the near future. Turns out Cardi B just isn't that special. Well, at least her catchphrase isn't. Why she was told she couldn't trademark it.
And cold pizza becoming a breakfast staple, the nationwide craving, later in trending stories in a few minutes. But first, Meredith went to Hen Farms.
We'll tell you how these happy hens make happy eggs coming up.
You're watching Good Day Lubbock with James Hempler, Kristen Carroll, weather with meteorologist Bobby Johnston, And your look around Lubbock with Meredith Aldis. Good Day Lubbock will continue after this.
This morning, we're talking eggs.
Yeah, Meredith Aldis went to Hen Farms to find out why these eggs are different from the store-bought varieties.
Good morning. I'm here with Lindsay with Hen Farms, and she will be out at the farmers market this weekend with some chickens and some eggs, and we have a ton of chickens behind us. So what type are these?
We have Leghorns, which are the white chickens. We have cinnamon queens, and then we have a few heritage breeds here and there, some white rocks and such. So.
Okay, and what makes these unique? You said happy chickens, right?
Yes, they're happy. They, as you can see, it looks, they have access to all the grass. They can go out that back door over there, and they get sunshine, they get grass, they get the seeds and the bugs. Chickens like those things. That's what they're made to do. So they get all that stuff, and they just come and go as they please through this little area. We move them every day or two to fresh grass, so that they are getting those things, but then we can kind of control where they roam.
Gotcha. Okay, so happy chickens make happy eggs, right?
Yeah.
So how do these eggs differ from those, say, in the grocery store?
So our chickens, since they are pastured, which just means that they're raised on pasture, they get to get the vitamins and minerals and things from the grass and the ground. They get the bugs, and they get protein that way. Grocery store eggs generally, even the organic fed ones, are not always pastured. We do supplement with an organic feed, and it's a soy-free feed, and it is, and so it's a high-quality feed. But not all organic eggs at the store are pastured, and that's the difference that you're going to be looking for.
Alrighty, well, thank you so much. They will be at the farmers market this weekend. We have more information on Hen Farms in the Fox 34 News app. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Meredith. How about some trending stories? At number one, the NBA free agency period is underway, and it's been crazy. Kevin Durant said on Instagram he has worked out a max deal, 4 years and about $164 million with the Nets. The All-Star forward would have gotten 5 years and $221 million from the Warriors if he had stayed there. Of course, he's going to miss this whole next season with his injury. And reports are Kyrie Irving will be moving to Brooklyn as well, along with DeAndre Jordan, making the Nets awfully salty in a hurry. Chris Middleton plans to agree to a 5-year deal worth nearly $179 million to stay with the Bucks. Damian Lillard and the Trailblazers agreed to a 4-year Supermax extension that'll be worth nearly $200 million. And a person with knowledge of the deal says the Mavericks and Kristaps Porzingis have agreed on a $158 million 5-year maximum contract that will put the 7'3" Latvian with fellow Eurostar Luka Doncic. So the Mavericks have some hope too. No deals can be signed until Saturday because of the league's annual moratorium. At number two, Cardi B will not be able to cash in on her catchphrase. She was refused a trademark registration after filing to lock down her phrase "okrr" because it's not special enough. She wanted to put it on, T-shirts and stuff like that. U.S. Patent and Trademark officials explained that Cardi's slogan falls under the category of widely used commonplace expressions and does not fit the bill to deserve a trademark.
I agree that it should have gotten a trademark, but I don't know that it's a commonplace expression.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
find myself walking around every day just going, oh, grrr.
Or writing that like in a document or something.
Yeah. Is that actually, I guess that's how it's spelled, O-K-U-R-R-R? That's, I think
So
that,
she has a spelling
I think
for it.
she has a case to make here. She can appeal it, by the way.
Okay. Well, number three, music executive Scooter Braun just acquired a Big Machine label group. That's the record company that owns Taylor Swift's old music. The 29-year-old pop star responded with a lengthy Tumblr post yesterday calling the deal her worst case scenario, accusing Braun of subjecting her to incessant manipulative bullying for years and purchasing her music knowingly, controlling a woman who didn't want to be associated with him. Braun will own Swift's previous 6 studio albums from her 2006 self-titled country debut to 2017 edgy pop album Reputation.
It was actually a pretty emotional post. She said, "These are songs I wrote in my bedroom when I was younger and led into her career, and now she doesn't have any ownership of them. And they've gone to someone who she hates and has been awful to
That's
her."
That's a rough situation there. Sorry, Taylor. Okay, well, number 4, a new poll from delivery service Slice finds a majority of Americans prefer to eat cold pizza in the morning instead of typical breakfast of eggs, toast, and bacon. 53% of people would rather chow down on leftover dinner, and preferably without the pineapple. The survey reveals about half of pizza lovers think the pineapple shouldn't qualify as a topping. That's been pretty hot debate for a long time. So pizza for breakfast might not be the worst habit either. Nutritionists say a cheesy, carb-heavy meal for breakfast is healthier than the average cereal because of the high sugar content in many popular brands of that.
I don't personally prefer pineapple on pizza, but I'm not one to say you can't have it.
I'm not going to say you can't have it. It is strange to me, but I get the sweet and salty, which I think maybe that's kind of how the sweet and salty
Some people
started,
say you should not be able to even get it. Pizza places shouldn't have it.
That's silly.
I'm just I'm a pizza pacifist, man. Peace and love. Pizza and love.
But I don't want to eat cold pizza for breakfast.
What? Really?
Oh my God.
I've been known to heat up the pizza like in the toaster oven and have it for breakfast.
See, I'm a cold pizza, pull it out of the fridge, it's good to go.
Yeah, I can't wait for the microwave. I need to get right into it before my son finds out there's more pizza in there. Cosmetics coming out on top, the big names that are impressing Wall Street.
And Legoland under new ownership. Who is taking over next in the Morning Business Report?
It's 6:23.